Hello, I'm Deborah Kahn, and I moderated today's session on Asia's consumer dilemma. A lot of bad statistics out there, namely that in the next 50 years, 6 billion people will be living in urban populations. Right now, over 2 billion people are emerging consumers, emerging meaning they didn't have money to spend in the past, but now they do have money. And Asia's middle class is actually the fastest growing population, one of the fastest in the world. So faced with all of these things, what are some of the sustainable practices that we can be put in place? Interestingly enough, it came down to pretty basics, right? Changing people's behaviors. Like I remember growing up in California where there was a big drought and never really, and that really reinforced good practice for me in terms of saving water. And a colleague and somebody spoke about Japan and how Japan is really today putting in place a system whereby after the tsunami, they know they're going to be faced with massive energy shortages. Well, what they're doing is an entrepreneur has created a program which will alert people as to when they should shut off their air conditioners in order to, promote good practice. So a lot of those types of things came up, as well as how the government and business can proactively work together. Some of the issues, infrastructure problems. In India alone, 40% of all food is wasted, mainly due to infrastructure problems and not being able to transport in a good way. So we focused on really kind of what you can do at the micro level, and some of the business leaders have already put good practice in their CSR programs, but they really, one of the big messages is that they really need the government's help as well. So with that, I think the one thing that everybody did agree on was education and how important it is to educate from a very young age, as well as at the beginning of the production line. So, enforcing good practices with factory workers and making change at the bottom in order to have significant change at the top. So that was about it, what we learned. And now I'll go to my question. And the question I have chosen to answer is, what is the fundamental power that people have that will transform our world? And I believe actually it's the ability to communicate well, because if you might have a good idea, but it's the way that you communicate it to the most amount of people that is probably going to enable the most change. Thank you.
Thank you very much.